Good morning, students. I'm Professor G.D. Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Processing and Food Engineering, KKO College of Agriculture, Engineering and Technology, Nashik. Today's we'll discuss about ventilation systems. The ventilation systems in livestock housing serve an important functions, maintaining a comfortable animal environment. Typically, a mature daily cow will breathe out 4 to 5 gallons of water per day as water vapor and produce 2000 to 2400 BTU per hour or 600 to 700 watts of heat. Ventilation systems continuously remove the heat, moisture, and odors created by livestock and replenish the oxygen supply by bringing in drier, cooler outside air. The adequate air exchange also removes gases such as ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, and methane, which can be harmful to both animal and operator health. The ventilation systems requirements. This is fact provides an overview of the details and components needed to properly set natural ventilation systems. The components of the ventilation system should provide the following basic features. First is air exchange. Sufficient air exchange is accomplished by natural driving forces of wind and buoyancy. Then control ventilation rates require adjustment based on inside and outside conditions. This is typically achieved with manually open and closed curtains, doors or ventilation panels. Flexibility. The ventilation needs based on different seasons require different operating conditions. At least 3 operating conditions must be provided. Continuous minimum air exchange is required to remove moisture constantly produced by the animals. This minimum air exchange is vital during sub-freezing weather. So temperature control which is needed during cool and mild weather conditions to remove excess heat from the building. Also high air exchange rates and air velocity past the animals is needed during hot weather to help remove heat from the cow's body. So proper barn constructions, natural ventilated barns must have sufficient and properly located openings that can be adjusted to take advantages of buoyancy effects as well as wind forces and directions. Though more specifically, natural ventilation is used primarily in the 3 types of livestock buildings: small housing units such as calf hatches, individual farrowing houses, and portable, often open front shelters for swine. The most allow the animal access to an outside exercise lot. Then open front buildings, either slotted floor type, usually for cattle above 700 pounds, or solid floor with a heat or bedding and outside lot for all sizes of cattle, sheep, and hogs. And third, modified open front buildings, so named because up to half of the area of both side walls can be open in summer and closed in winter. The bare insulated modified open front buildings are used for fencing and gestation swine, whereas the lightly insulated types are used for dairy, beef, and sheep. In this figure, natural ventilation is used in small units with bedded solid floors, second open front buildings, and third is modified open front buildings. Okay, in this figure, natural ventilation types. Okay, nearly 3 types. Okay, small units, bedded solid floors, open front buildings, and modified open front buildings. Okay, the principle of natural ventilation. The natural ventilation methods date back to the first time animals were confined in shelters when farmers left the barn door open to reduce moisture or heat buildup. Today's naturally ventilated livestock shelters are the more sophisticated, operated on exactly the same principles. The natural ventilation occurs primarily because of the difference in wind pressure across the building and to a lesser extent because of difference in inside and outside temperature. The natural system works best in building with no ceiling but having a small openings at the eaves and ends of the roof and having large side wall openings. So this is figure shows natural ventilation in gable roof building occurs primarily because of the wind blowing over the ridge and to lesser degree because of the temperature difference inside and outside. Okay, in figure shows winter ventilation, snow wind outside, winter ventilation wind blowing, and summer ventilation side wall doors open. Okay, I mean generally at the per part ridges. Okay, provided with ventilations for summer season and winter seasons. The winter ventilation occurs as the wind blows across the open ridge of the gable roof buildings. Suction is created which draws warm, moist air out of the building and fresh air in through the U opening. If wind velocity is great enough, the downwind U openings can also act as air outlets. On calm winter days, the hot, moist air still rises and eventually finds its way out the ridge openings. This chimney or stack effects accounts for only about 20% of total ventilation because there is not great difference between inside and outside temperatures in most naturally ventilated buildings except on very cold days. Also, in summer, ventilation is provided by openings of large portions, typically one third to one half, of each side walls to allow cross flow of air. The ridge opening has little effect in summer. The building locations considerations. The proper location of the building with respect to prevailing winds and surrounding trees, structures, and land formation is essential to the success of natural ventilation system. Also, locating on high ground is best because it permits necessary drainage as well as exposing the building to the effects of wind. So important building orientation. In India, an open front building is usually constructed with long exits running east-west to maximize summer shade. Also facing the open side to south also minimize the effect of the prevailing north and northwest winter winds. The modified open front unit is usually narrow enough that orientation has little effect on ventilation. Although solar heat load on the roof of north-south oriented building is greater than that an east-west oriented structure. The modified open front buildings are usually well enough insulated that is this is not major concern. However, lightly insulated modified type such as dairy free stall ones should have its long axis running east-west to minimize the effect of sun. Restraint design for structures. Generally minimum free openings, therefore it is using a commercial ridge ventilator with a screen openings. Be sure to compensate for the reduced actual vent area by purchasing one that is at least 25% larger than needed. Some commercial ridge ventilators have adjustable openings which can be closed as needed during severe weather in figure. So this is useful options in buildings where freezing temperatures may harm animals and water supply lines. So this is figure shows some ridge ventilators have adjustable openings to control winter ventilations. Both lowers and plastic pipe pull up by ropes into the wet area have been used by Indian farmers. Then cattle and sheep tolerate cold temperature better than swine. These thus ridge openings in housing units for these types of livestock can be constructed without the ridge cap, leaving the ridge completely open. In this case, be sure to protect the exposed truss areas with flushing. In figure shows drifting, snow drifting through open ridge events can be controlled, though not limited with vertical baffles. Protect with flashing any exposed part of the trusses. Okay, mirror flashing on trusses provided. Many producers are concerned with the snow blowing around the ridge openings, usually open ridge traps less snow than rest ridge cap. However, if blowing is a problem, vertical waffle flies along both sides of the open ridge will decrease blowing and may even improve ventilation slightly. Upstands that deflect wind and snow over the cap are available for some commercial vents. Regardless of the type of vent used, snowball instead will still occur at times when snow blows parallel to the ridge, since the downwind portion of the roof will be under pressure. So this is a cap provided in this figure. Some commercial ventilators have upstands to prevent rain and snow blowing. UV vent design. The UV vents means window inlets can simply be the open spaces between the rafters or trusses at the top of the wall. This area is usually large enough to meet the UV openings requirements. Buildings over 40 to 50 feet. Buildings with insulated roof panels that obstruct the space between trusses must have other means for allowing adequate air to enter. Typically, in this figure, UV vents. Okay. Figure shows typically air inlets for winter ventilations. First, A winter air enters through open space between rafters. B air inlet is made by providing an opening near the top of the side wall. And C hollow wall air inlet is used primarily for dairy barns. And D is window enters at the top of the structure. Okay. The UV vent should always be protected against a direct wind which can create unwanted drafts in the animal area. Forcing air up through hollow wall vent or through rafter or truss cavity protected by large fascia board helps break up wind gusts. Also, bringing winter air high on the sidewall allows you to warm up some before reaching animal level and improves air circulation in the building. Sidewall vent design. This is also important. Several types of doors are being used satisfactorily for sidewall ventilations, including pure door, top or bottom opening doors, sliding doors, and curtains, generally shown in figure. Certain curtain and pure or butterfly doors are popular for small buildings since they can be adjusted easily with automatic controllers. This figure shows sidewall inlets for summer ventilations, pure doors, top or bottom hinge doors. See plastic curtains that roll up to close off the openings, or D doors that slide on horizontal tracks. Other considerations: system design, giving attention to the following aspects of natural ventilation system will help ensure its effectiveness. Roof slope is important to good ventilation. As a rule, the steeper the slope, the better the ventilation. If possible, avoid slopes less than 3 by 12, 3 inches of rise per foot of run. And generally, the wider the building, the steeper the roof slope should be used. Obstructions protruding from underside of the roof, such as deep purlins, can trap moist air and increase metal corrosion and deteriorations. Therefore, avoid a wide truss spacing which require deep exposed purlins. So never use purlins deeper than 6 inches, means 4 inches preferred, if the building is to be ventilated naturally. Sidewall height can also affect natural ventilation. For instance, if walls are not high enough, mechanical bunks can disturb proper airflow through the building in summer. Also, winter sun cannot penetrate open front buildings adequately if wall height is insufficient. Also, wall height becomes more important as building width increases. If enough sidewall wind area is to be available for summer airflow, shows proper wall height buildings with relation housing for beef and dairy. Thank you, students.